The student, the athlete, the culture. Welcome back, everyone, to the second series of Moses Squared podcast. We hope you enjoyed our last episode. We are now streaming episodes on Apple Podcasts, so make sure you subscribe to our channel, as well as our YouTube and Instagram, and leave a review. Now, let's get into episode 11, Plandemic.
Welcome back to Moses Squared podcast. It's your boy Dezman Moses coming to you with another episode. We appreciate you guys tuning in. We have another great episode planned for you. Obviously, right now, there's an elephant in the room. I'm sorry. The coronavirus.
COVID-19.
This is putting a damper on everything that's going on right now. I don't know that I've ever seen a pandemic. They're calling it, such as this in the history of I'm trying to think, in the history of America. I don't really know if we've had a stoppage like this. Mm-hmm. What do you think, Lauren, of just the effects that this thing's having overall on our economy, sports?
Yeah.
What's your thoughts?
I mean, like you said, it is affecting literally everything. The way that we live, our lives, our social life. You hear social distancing. But I think, like you were saying, I don't know if we've ever seen anything like this. And I know I certainly haven't in my 23 years of life. I mean, a few years ago, we saw Ebola in Africa, but it didn't truly expand as quickly or as wide as the coronavirus is. So there's so many impacts. I mean, you talk about the economy, you see the stocks going way down. You talk about the sports world. What'd you say?
No, I said my 401k. I'm keeping an eye on it.
Yeah,
it's tough. No, it's having an impact for sure.
And even in the sports world, you see all the cancellations, cancellation of NCAA tournament, cancellations of actual conference tournaments. Like some men's teams in college didn't even get to play their conference tournament to end off their season, and so graduations. I mean, everything. And so it is really sad to see these young kids in schools who can't go to school anymore, who school might have been that safe place for them. And so there's so many things that are changing. But I always say, and I always believe that everything happens for a reason. And so although it was unexpected, and although we may not have all the answers, government may not have all the answers, the CDC may not have all the answers, but I think it's definitely a time for us to sit back, reflect, and to kind of take advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think reflect is a major thing. We can always get biblical, and both children of God, so we have that understanding and trying to lean on that aspect, because sometimes in instances like this, it's hard to understand. It's hard to wrap your head around it. You don't know what's true coming from these media sources. Mm-hmm. You don't know how much is true or how much is being told. But nonetheless, we were talking a little bit before this just about how we were raised in the mindset of, how we trying to get through things and continue to achieve and just be productive. That's one of those things that I think we as Americans, as a people, will have to hone in on. Some people will use this time to sit back, like you said, and rest. Some people do need to rest and catch up and breathe, and and some people use this time really productively and maybe start a business or learn a new skill or language or instrument or moneymaker or trade or whatever it is. There's a lot of advantages that you could take advantage of right now.
And I think something important you said, not to cut you off, but something important you said is the information that we are getting, because we're getting so much information. Exactly. And for, me being a journalist and all, I know that, sometimes it's it's always better to be accurate than the first person on the story. Sure. But I think in instances like this, when something new comes out, like the other day I heard that Vice President Mike Pence was tested positive, and that was not true. Right. And when I read it, I'm like, the head of the task force of the coronavirus has that just sends people into a craze that we're already kind of in. And so really doing your research, not just reading one thing and being like, oh God, this is new or this is new. No, do your research, figure out ways, the symptoms. Obviously everyone's talking about the symptoms and everybody's talking about ways that you can social distance yourself and quarantine and things like that. But actually do some research. There's been a few informational videos that will separate the symptoms of having a cold, having a flu, having the coronavirus. And some of them, you know, blend. Some of the symptoms may seem similar.
For sure.
But really just being proactive. And like you said, this is the time. If you need rest, rest.
Absolutely.
If you need to be working on yourself, work on yourself. And so those are just like some of the things that I've just been thinking about over the past, 2 weeks? Almost 2 weeks now.
Almost 2 weeks. So tell me this, what are you doing? What are your top 3 hobbies right now? What is Lauren Moses working on? You know, how are you keeping yourself busy, keeping yourself motivated, keeping it going?
Well, everyone knows that I'm an athlete.
Absolutely.
Always. So working out is something that I enjoy doing, you know, with or without the gym. And so that's what I've been doing this morning. First thing I woke up, I put my workout clothes on as if I was going to the gym and I got right on the floor in my bedroom and did a workout.
Yeah.
And if you want to see that at-home workout, it'll be on Lauren Brielle's YouTube.
Plug.
But yeah, so working out, you know, got a little plug yourself in always. So I work out. You called me earlier when I was doing a puzzle.
For sure.
That's something that I've gotten into as of the past 24 hours.
I called you a nerd, but we're not judging.
Only I can. Don't judge. We don't judge. We don't judge.
No bullying.
But yeah, it's actually very like kind of therapeutic.
Sure.
You just listen to music and you start using your brain, using your muscles. And so just that was fun. And then lastly, I think I've just been cleaning a lot more than usual. It takes up time and it also is therapeutic, just decluttering. I think, you know, you may have something in the corner of your room that's been there for weeks. And so that's what I've been doing. What about you?
Just staying busy, you know. In the meantime, you know.
I was going to say, you stay busy.
Yeah, my day job, you know, now I get to do real estate and invest for a living. If you guys don't know that about me now, here in Kansas City, you know, we're doing some investments. So I just really enjoy building stuff, you know, so growing my business. Even in this time, real estate is considered an essential career. So it's, you know, they allow us to keep working and I'm thankful for that. You know, to be able to continue to get money when, you know, some people's financial situation may shift is something to be grateful for. And as I grow older, you know, you become grateful for those small things. You know, this is not a small thing, but it's still, you know, and I'm excited about what we're building on that front. So, you know, I'm just staying active, continue to work. Yeah, I still get my workouts in a little bit. I got a bum knee, so I'm still kind of on ice, but you know, it's fun. It's fun. For a lot of people, you know, I would say just continue to try to stay into a routine. You know, don't get into the habits of, you know, turning your sleep over and, you know, routine, up all night and sleeping all day, because it's going to be an adjustment period to get your body back into that space. You know, so stay sharp, read some books. Don't just hop on the Instagrams and read all these COVID, you know, because a lot of that stuff aren't good sources. You know, it's an easy source because it's right on our tips of our fingers. And we're always on the, you know, the social medias, and the first thing you do is stop when COVID, you know. So you just be careful what you read.
And that as well, I mean, you keep seeing it and I keep hearing it, like fear also weakens your immune system. For sure. And, you know, consuming so much of that is going to get you down. It's going to make you fearful, and it's going to be like, hey, I don't want to do it, or I don't want to get it. So let me try to do everything I can to not get it. And then you end up getting it.
Yeah, it does.
So it's just like with the flu or any other cold that you try to stay away from. But, what's really important that you said is the routine part. You asked me like earlier when we were on the phone, like about, you know, what I've been doing to kind of just pass time. It's really, or even to not even pass time, but to appreciate the time that I do have is creating a morning routine. Like I think everyone has, you know, their short morning routine when they're trying to get out the house, they get in the shower, brush their teeth, blah, 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 you know. So like I've just been slowing that down, I think, and leaving my phone in my room and going into my bathroom and just really like washing my face and like, you know, slowly and getting the pores and, you know, doing my hair every day because I'm not leaving the house, so I don't really have to look good. But just doing things that I would usually do as if I were about to leave the house. Like I don't get dressed or anything, but I will like do my hair, like I said, wash my face, put some lip gloss on, just make myself feel good so that I'm not just, you know, being lazy in the house, I think. And even a night routine, winding down, put it, like I said, like I leave my phone in the room. go into the bathroom, handle everything I need to do in there, and then come to my bedroom where I feel like I am now decompressing.
Right.
And so I think now is a good time to really be away from your phones. I use my phone probably way more than I should in social media, but I have in the past few days been putting it to the side. Right. Even when I'm doing little things, when I'm checking my email or even when I'm looking at the news, I will put it down to the side so that I'm not trying to tweet responses or send an article to someone. Kind of just, I don't know, take time to myself to be by myself. You know?
For sure. And you have to do that. You have to just stay active, keep it moving.
But it's hard. It's hard.
It is. It's very difficult. This is this is new for all of us. Like I said, there's never been a time where I don't think anybody's living had to sit home, not go to their favorite places, not go hang with their friends, not go be able to do their hobbies. And you look outside and it's not because of bad weather. It's
exactly.
It's not a snowstorm outside. Yeah, I mean it's in the air, so it's just it's one of the things. You just got to continue to pray and do what you do. Keep yourself full. Keep feeding your spirit. Yeah, for sure. Be smart. Don't be the guy that go get test positive and then go to Walmart.
Don't be that person, and don't be the young immature kids who are going around coughing on things in the stores, right. And I don't know why you would do this, but licking produce in the grocery stores. This is a time for us to come together as a human race, because remember, this isn't something that's happening nationally. This is globally, and at the end of the day, a lot of people's loved ones are being lost. We have to think about how serious this is for a second. People are dying at the end of the day. More than 40,000 people in the U.S. Yeah. I can't remember the number globally, but people are dying at a crazy rate, and it's let's not make jokes of this outside. I mean, the internet's always going to give you the jokes and your laughs for the day. Right. When it comes to our actual living, let's be smarter.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it's one of those things. We gotta. It's everyone's problem. This is humanity's problem, the human race. So we just gotta be smart and take care of one another. I mean, I think it's interesting because I even seen a few reports on the ozone and just the positive effects that us as a human race staying inside has had in a very quick time. And it's then I started thinking, wow, just the amount of jobs and the carbon dioxide that's going up into the air that's ruined. That's all of these things are shut down now, literally across the world. That is having that much of an effect. But when is the last time we gave the atmosphere a break?
Any love?
when do we return one of those favors? It's there's spots and places in every country, not just here, and even in different continents where they, they're for the universe, but it's just not enough of it. This is the first time universally we've had to collectively sit down and get away from work and just do those things. So I don't know what God's plan is, but He got a plan.
And that's the thing. We gotta. He has a plan, and we just have to wait, really. And it comes down to being patient.
Stay prayed up. That's it.
Exactly. But we were talking about earlier in the sports world, Corona obviously has slowed things down. However, for the young athletes out there who are, they still have goals. They still trying to get to college and hopefully be able to play for free.
They're trying to get paid.
Yeah. So, what do and even the people who are in college and who are looking to go professionally, not even just the young bucks, even some of the girls and guys who didn't have a chance to play postseason but are looking to make that difference in the league. What can they or should they kind of be doing physically to stay in shape? I mean, you transferred in college and had an unreasonably long break, and so how did you keep your body in shape? You had the opportunity to be around a lot of people though while you were working out, so these kids and guys and girls may not have the opportunity. They have to be alone. Yeah,
I did and I didn't. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of a lonely space. Even at Iowa, it's before I left, my teammates were on the team. Most of my friends were on the team, so it's I'm not going to practice, I'm not going to workouts. Before you know it, that's 60% of your day. I'm barely seeing my best friend, and it's dang. Yeah. But it's one of those things that was a mental challenge for myself, when I had to take on and I had just dedicated myself. I said, man, this is going to be a journey sometimes it's a lonely journey. But it was one I knew it was meant for, and essentially you have to hone in. You got to continue to train. You got to still be creative in how you train. You still have to challenge yourself. You still have to, get up and really get that work in, because that's one thing about sports and the game of sports is you can't cheat it. It's about putting that work in. That's what we love Kobe for. The mom mentality. This guy woke up at 4:30 every day of his career. And we're talking about a 20-year pro career and 10 years at least before that. So what type of person are you? We commend these people because they're built like that. And that's when you have to look in the mirror and say, damn, do I want to really do something special? I have to commit something special and dedicate something special. And a lot of times that comes with sacrifice, whether that sacrifice is time with your friends, time with your family, which, it can cost you a lot of these different things depending on what your goals are, what your dreams are, your aspirations are. But at the end of the day, if you want to be great, you gotta sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? And,
exactly.
And that's what it's about. So for those young athletes in this space right now, uncertainty, didn't know, you don't know how things are going to go, because we don't. This could be 2 months. This could be a little bit longer, but you still have to wake up even in this time and get to it. Get that work in, just like the games tomorrow. And staying ready so you don't have to get ready is one of my favorite sayings. Me and Jay used to always say, but stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And that way you can stay at the top of your game and, continue to kick the competitions, but even in this off season.
Yeah, and that's hard because, when you're in postseason, so far away from your season, and you're still got to wake up and go to workouts, it's like, oh my goodness, I don't play for another... I don't play for another 7 months, and you're telling me I got to do... But, it's that's what, that's what it is. That's what being an athlete is about, really.
And as Daddy would say,
getting up and grinding.
Don't go through the motions. Don't just go through the motions.
Oh, no. Oh, what? Do you know how many workouts we've ended because I was going through the motions? Because I was throwing the ball back to him at his feet.
Don't go through the motions, It's not worth it. And that's true. If you got to go full speed, you got to get that intensity. You got to get yourself revved up, even in the off season. That's what creates those great habits, that lead to success.
And it's crazy because obviously we have all this time in our hands, but last night I found myself looking at Quinn Cook's Instagram Live. So everyone's on live, everyone's doing TikTok, and everyone's just going crazy on the internet. So I was watching his live last night, and he was having conversations with people who were asking questions underneath his live. Sure. And I think someone was kind of asking him, how are you keeping yourself in shape? Right. And he's just like... he's like, I still work out. I do the same workouts, but the craziest thing to me in my head is while I'm working out, I'm like, I don't know when the next time I'm gonna be out on the court. Yeah. And so that is his motivator, is that I'm on the court right now. What can I be doing? Because I don't know when my season's gonna start. I don't know when I'm going back to work, but I do have this time that I have right now. And Quinn Cook is a great player, doesn't get all the time in the world, but he still is putting in that time. And not only is he putting in that time, but he's also using that time to motivate him to become better. Yeah.
And that's what it's about. Moving forward into our next segue, we do have a little bit of sports going on right now, and a lot of free agency going on in football. We had some shakeup amongst some of the staples in football, I say, the New England
staples, and that's what's Patriots. The crazy part is like the big names. Yeah. The big names are up and moving around and trying to figure out where they can be best and where they can win. And also money is a factor.
Money's a factor, but the legacy is a factor as well. I'm interested in. Obviously, we're kind of dancing around it right now, but we were referring to the GOAT himself, Mr. Thomas Brady. I put a lot of respect on that man's name. He is one of the top players in our league, and I got a chance to see him up close, to hit him up close, and he's just a special guy, competitor, and he does it at a high level, like we talked about, just that repetition, that mindset, that winner mindset. This guy has it, So,
and what do you think his mindset was leaving the Patriots and going to the Bucs?
I think a lot of times we put Tom and Bill Belichick, together. Their legacy it has their hands, it's tied.
Yeah.
But for a competitor, a lot of times you want to prove to people, you want to show people, hey, this is me. You know what I'm saying? I do this. And we heard a lot of noise and saw the struggles of the New England Patriots last season. They had some young receivers, just a lot of missed assignments, quarterbacks and receivers being on different pages. And I always tell people, because I've had this conversation a few different times. Oh, people, Tom Brady's losing it. And I stop them in their track. I said, watch your mouth. This man is of the elites. And the reason he's been able to do it for such a high level is because, his mentality, the way he studies the game. If he's thrown to an open spot on the football field and the ball hits the turf and nobody's around it, somebody was supposed to be there. Know that. He's been doing it for a long time and at a very high level. Sometimes with young receivers, it takes that time to mesh, and you just don't have that time in the NFL. Time is precious. So he said, I got to move on. I got to move on. But what do you think? I mean, we have another, big name guy, Cam Newton, one of my favorite players. Great athlete, special athlete. He's like one of those LeBron guys. I put him in there as far as physical specimens. You're talking about a 6'6", 260-pound Cam Newton.
Yeah, he's special.
What do you think about that?
I think he's a special player. I think he was special for North Carolina, too. Yeah. I think, the timing of him going there and him just, having seasons that were good, seasons that weren't so good, he really kind of showed his entire package, even having, bad seasons. But I do think change is good. Whether, although this was unexpected, I think change is good. And I think that timing is always immaculate and it's always on our side. Like somehow craziness is going on in our world, but we're still able to, make these deals and be able to, advance people's careers while, there's so much uncertainty. But with Cam Newton, I feel like he's gonna be a leader, hands down. I mean, he's always been a great leader, and I think he's going to find his place, his space, just like the rest of them. Yeah. There's young guys who are coming up, NFL draft coming up soon, and there's a lot of prospects who showed out in the combine, and prospects who didn't really show out, but are they posting their workouts. You have, is it Tua? Tua? Yeah. Tua. He's posting all his workouts and stuff like that. Who are you most excited about when you think about this 2020 NFL draft?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be an exciting one. It's funny that you say Tua. This is the Alabama quarterback. Kid's a young stud. I'm excited to see the kid from what is it, the running back from LSU. I mean, there's a ton of young players out there who they're looking to make their mark, and it's tough. I know they're going through a range of emotions right now. You're so hungry to get into this space. You've been waiting all your life to get to this space, and then the coronavirus. It's like it's bittersweet for them, and I feel for them in a sense a little bit because, again, they've invested so much time and energy into it, and just to have this kind of up in the air. But I'm excited to see all these young men. I mean, I hate to sound cliche, and the eyes are still on the big league, and I always say that. I never got too excited about college guys just because you never know how they're going to translate. And I've seen people go from one extreme to the other and vice versa. You've seen very, very good college players, guys who have made, just an impact on a game, won Heismans and championships, and then they get to the NFL and they struggle. And then you've seen guys who came from west, north, south, Bowie states, A&M, and he becomes a Jerry Rice. Not to be funny, but from small name school, and they make a name for themselves. So it's just like everybody gets to write their own story, and I'm just glad, and I'm always happy for these guys whenever I see a young man make it and live his dream, and from there it's their story to write.
And you said Heisman winners, Joe Burrow, number one prospect at least. Other, top Heisman runner-ups, I guess you could say. Who do you think is going to be, whose game do you think will be most translatable, I guess? Joe Burrow, Chase Young, what were the other kids' names? Yeah,
I mean, it's just a great time for these young men, and shout out to them. We send out the love, the luck for all of these young men. I hope they go on to do exactly what they plan to, and work for. But transitioning a little bit, we want to go into the winner mindset.
Yeah.
And that's always what we want to talk about, the mama mentality. We call it a lot of different things. But today, we're going to start a new segment called The Key to the Drill. And each week, we'll talk a little bit about different topics, and we'll give you our 2 cents on what we think, you could implement in your life, in your game to help you rise to the occasion and take it to the next level. This was a coin phrase from one of my coaches that he used to always say, this is the key to the drill. This is the main point right here. This is what he wanted you to get from it, the takeaway. So I'm going to pass it on to you guys. And today our topic is time management, since we're forced right now to really have a little extra time. And I just told her, I said, a lot of time we get more time, we waste more time. So with that being said, how can we channel that energy and really carve out a little bit of time or a lot of time to do the things we need to do? What's your go-to?
I think my key to the drill, my key to time management is to do it. Do it. I would say be proactive. I think we, like you said, you have so much time, you end up wasting it. But if you just do it, stop thinking about it, stop, writing it down as if you're going to do it in a few days. No, if you're going to do it tomorrow, no, do it now. Whenever you think about doing something, obviously you're going to have goals. You're going to have short term, long term. But when it comes to day to day, with the extra time, I think the best thing to do is to come up with a plan, come up with what you need to do, get done that day, be proactive, and get it done. Just do it. What about you?
Just do it. I'm with you. You know what? And it's funny because I just changed mine as you spoke. I was going to talk about time blocking, but you said it. You said make a plan, and that's essential. But in making a plan, my key to the drill is write it down. It's easy to have these ideas, and they float away, and we get distracted, and we have so many distractions. Write it down. Dumb it down for yourself, and you'll see that you convert a lot more of those things that you write down and plan for than you do for those things you just think about, dream about, that never come to fruition. But that's Very our true. 2 cents. We appreciate you guys listening and tuning in to Moses Squared Podcast. It's your boy, Dezman Moses. Be sure to lock in next week. Peace and love. We appreciate you guys tuning in to Moses Squared Podcast. Stay updated on the podcast. Follow me at Twitter and Instagram at Dezman M. Dezmanm.
You can follow me on Instagram at Lauren.Brielle with 2 E's at the end, and on Twitter at Lauren_Brielle with 2 E's at the end. However, to stay updated on everything Moses Squared, follow us on Instagram at Moses Squared Podcast, which is all one word. There, we will be posting everything from sports news to IGTV videos and more. We hope you enjoyed this episode. We'll catch you next time. God bless. When I'm in the bank, you can't stop me.